Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here. Now today I am bringing you guys my team building video for week 3 of the UCL, where the Bronx Beartics, head coached by yours truly, are facing the Philadelphia Feraligatrs, who are coached by none other than PK Sparks, the Smash Tuber. No, I'm just kidding. Well, he is a Smash Tuber, but he also plays Pokemon. Now, as usual, I've created a team of 6 with my boy Jamvad. I don't want to say I created this by myself because I don't. Every single week I go and call with my boy Jamvad. If you guys don't know Mr. Jamvad, I definitely encourage you guys to go check him out. Little self-plug. Little plug for him, even though he's not in this video. He technically is though, because he really did help me, and he's always been helping me. The reason I like to build with my buddy is because I enjoy building with friends a lot more than I enjoy building by myself, and I feel that 2 heads are better than 1, especially when they're both very competitive, and we can just put a lot of things together. And yeah, Jamvad. So Jamvad does help me out with these teams, and some people are saying, can you please upload the full video of you guys building these teams, and as opposed to my breakdown of the team afterwards? And I honestly am just gonna say no. The reason being is I just got out of a 3-hour call with Jamvad. Well, half the video was us building, the other half was him playing Showdown or trolling or even talking about life stuff, and we go back and forth between building and that. And that's part of the reason why I don't upload the calls with my buddy, because they would simply be too long. Not all the time they have to do with building, and I really just want to get the point across to you guys. That way you understand my thought process, or our thought process, when going into the game. So hope that answers that question. Maybe some people would like to see a 3-hour call. I'm pretty sure I'll see some comments that say, yeah, upload the 3-hour stuff, but I'm also not going to be recording for that long. But anyway, enough of that. As usual, my thought process going into this game, this is PK's potential. These are PK's 12, and these are my 12. Of course, Kabalion is spelled wrong. I already know that, but it's just been the same push from all the time, because as you guys may or may not have known, some of my notes, I have a notepad of everybody's team, and then I have another notepad of what I expect them to bring and stuff like that. But as usual, what I want to do with this, or what I want to accomplish with every single team that I do use in the UCL, is that my team of 6, whatever 6 I choose to bring, will beat whatever 6 he chooses to bring. Any combination of 6 he can bring, whether it's Garchomp, Trevenant, Skarmory, Hitmonchan, Talonflame, Garbodor, or Talonflame, Feraligatr, Garbodor, Hitmonchan, Steelix, Trevenant, whatever. I want my team of 6 to be able to combat that team of 6 and do well versus it. Now, PK's team, just a little bit of backstory before we actually start building, consists of a lot of very powerful physical threats, such as Garchomp, Talonflame, Gator, Snorlax. Steelix hits pretty hard. Garbodor's physical. Hitmonchan's physical. Trevenant's physical. So it contains a lot of physical threats. His only special attackers really being, well, he has a bunch of Pokemon that I guess could run special attackers like Overheat, Talonflame, Draco, Drop a Draco, Garchomp, maybe even Ice Beam, Gator, whatever. Just saying that his main special attackers are Mega Sceptile, Jinx, and Vivillon. Those are Pokemon that are known for their special attack, and the rest are known for physical. So going into this game, my immediate reaction to seeing his team was, I want to bring a bunch of physical walls, or I want a defensive backbone that can take on his physical threats. So going into the team, my sorry to spoil the Reuniclus right there, but my first pick, or my first Pokemon that I decided to build the team around, was Fabio, or my Mega Ampharos. And this is actually the real Fabio, guys. The defensive Rest Talk, Volt Switching, Dragon Pulsing Fabio. And the reason I really wanted Fabio is because it 100% stops his Talonflame. Talonflame cannot touch this thing. Physically defensive Mega Ampharos is so bulky. I completely wall it, even a Will-O-Wisp set. I completely check Skarmory, or I completely counter Skarmory, as well as take it on Mold Breaker, Breaking Sturdy, being able to knock it out with Volt Switch, even without any investment. It gives me a potential Sleep Powder switching in Vivillon, even Jinx if I want to be a little bit ballsy. And it also checks Hitmonchan, Garbodor, Trevenant. And the defensive set is actually so bulky that it can live in Adamant Garchomp's Outrage, as well as a Mega Sceptile's Dragon Pulse. And the reason I'm saying that, it can also live a +1 Gator's Ice Punch. So this is a check to Gator, this is a check or a counter to Talonflame, and it really just opened up the door for a lot of other members, because with this Pokemon I was not scared of Talonflame whatsoever, and it even backup checks Gator, which is really nice. Now my spread is 244 HP, because that's the equivalent to 248 max, or level 50 anyway. Thank you guys for the comments about that. 252 defense because I wanted the max defense, and now I ran 12 special defense just because 12 special defense is the difference between living a Dragon Pulse from Mega Sceptile after Stealth Rock and having that chance to go down, because I believe max damage with no special defense investment, just like that Note 12, would be 88%. So that would be exactly the damage that I would be taking. And if he gets absolute max, he could knock me out with Dragon Pulse, assuming Stealth Rock are up. But with these 12 special defense investment, or with this 12 special defense investment, Dragon Pulse does only 86% max from a timid Mega Sceptile, and I think he will bring timid just because Jolly is Modest is outsped by the majority of my team before it Mega Evolves. So, yeah, Fabio also can backup check Sceptile if things get rough, and it just really gives me something for Hitmonchan, Garbodor, Talonflame, Skarmory. I'm not scared of them, and like I said, it can check Garchomp as well as Feraligator / Sceptile if it needs to. It's really just that Talonflame counter. Now, his main form of special attacking is Vivillon as well as Sceptile, and I really felt that Tornadus T would just be a huge asset this game. A lot of games I will be bringing Tornadus and Manaphy, usually just because they're just so good against the meta. They're anti-meta. Even in this format, they're just so good against it. Now, the set I did decide on bringing was Knockoff, Heat Wave, Hurricane, and Super Power. As you can see, I don't have U-Turn. Now, you might be thinking, well, Joey, don't you want Switch Advantage? Don't you want to get on out of there? Not really. He has Garchomp, Skarmory, Talonflame, Feraligatr, Snorlax, Mega Sceptile, Steelix, Trevenant, Hitmonchan, Garbodor, Jinx, and Vivillon. The combination of these 4 moves hits super effectively against everything on his team. Heat Wave, Hurricane, except for Garbodor, obviously, if they resist, but they don't appreciate it. I just see no point in going for U-Turn. Why go for U-Turn on Skarmory when I can hit it with a Heat Wave for a 2-hit KO? Or why go for U-Turn on Jinx when I could knock it out with Knockoff? Or why go for U-Turn on Sceptile when I could hit it with a Hurricane and knock it out? Of course, that's obviously playing around with accuracy, but the EV spread I chose was 244 because, again, that's the equivalent to 248, and what that means is I can switch into Stealth Rock 4 times from full without going down. I'll be living with 1 HP. 156 defense. Now, the reason I did that is because, like I said, he has a bunch of physical attackers, more so than special attackers, and that's basically me living Stone Edge or Outrage from Garchomp after Stealth Rock because of that defense investment. There's no real point in me putting special defense investment just because of this. One Tornadus can live a Rock Slide plus a Dragon Pulse from Mega Sceptile because of that defensive investment. Like if he just chooses to bring Mix, which that's something that I could see, just because one of my main switch into his Mega Sceptile would be his Tornadus. So that's why I wanted to bring that defensive variant. And there's no real reason of putting the special defense just because Assault Vest just boosts it so much, and his team does not have Knockoff. Maybe a few members on his team can learn it, not that I'm trying to think of right now, but Hitmonchan sucks. It doesn't learn Knockoff. It doesn't suck. I think it's a cool Pokemon, but it doesn't learn Knockoff, so that's something, like, I'm going to be keeping my Assault Vest most likely. And Knockoff is mainly there to cripple his Snorlax, as well as just nothing like losing its item. That's just something that's there. I can knock off a Garchomp's Choice Scarf and then allow my Cobalion to outspeed him or something like that. I can Hurricane just for stab, Heat Wave hit Skarmory, as well as Steelix, which are some things that I think will be coming in. Even if he runs that Assault Vest Steelix like he did once before, I can knock off that item and just hit it with a Heat Wave. And Super Power is just there to do roughly 40% to 45 to 50% depending on his Snorlax's spread. Snorlax being a big threat to me, so that's why I wanted to bring my Tornadus. Now next up we got Manaphy. Now I am bringing a really interesting Manaphy set. It's Tail Glow, Energy Ball, Scald, and Protect. Now, when I looked at his team, I really was scared of Gator. Gator is something that can sweep so many teams, even in OU. I think Gator is a great Pokemon. Some people might think it's a niche, it's like not a niche, but it has very little value in OU, or it's a Pokemon that's a gimmick sort of in OU. Not really, I don't know. But especially in this format, Gator is really scary. Even with its normal coverage moves in Dragon Dance, Crunch, Ice Punch, Waterfall, it just can tear through my team depending on if I let it set up. So a lot of my team building was also to prevent Gator from setting up. But I want that Manaphy just because Scald deals with Skarmory, Talonflame, Garchomp. You know, you can also burn Snorlax and Steelix, as well as Garbodor and Hitmonchan and Energy Ball is just there because it allows me to deal with Gator. It means it does roughly 50%. If he's running no HP investment, it does 50 to 60% if I'm not mistaken. And Tail Glow is actually there over Calm Mind because I don't benefit from Calm Mind. His only special attackers are Sceptile and Jinx / Pavilion, and I'm not running anything to really deal with Sceptile anyway. I don't have Ice Beam. I don't have like Shadow Ball to deal with Jinx, and I don't really care about Pavilion. I feel I've checked Pavilion pretty well. I do have Ice Shard in my Weavile, as you see down there. I have a Sleep Talk Absorber right here, and I do have an Assault Vest. Tornadus. I'm not going to be counting out Pavilion. I will definitely play smart around it, but it's something that I feel like I can check rather well. Now, my last move is Protect. You're probably asking, why the hell are you running Protect on Manaphy? I didn't need Ice Beam. I didn't feel I needed the Ice Beam just because I do have checks for his Grass types. Ice Beam only hitting Trevenant as well as Sceptile. I do have checks to that. And protecting with my spread is the difference between living +1 crunch or living 2 +1 crunches, because after protect I get enough leftovers to the point where Gator cannot 2-hit KO me. This also allows me to take on Talonflame better, as well as a bunch of his physical attackers, as well as scouting if it is revealed to me that he has Choice Scarf Garchomp. I can scout what move he locks himself into. It also can rack up burn damage, assuming I burn him with Scald. And Tail Glow, I just felt was better than Calm Mind, just because there's no point in boosting my special defense, especially when I can't beat any of his special attackers anyway with a boosted special defense. So that's why I wanted that. This set allows me to outspeed Feraligator at if it's adamant, because max speed Gator I believe hits 130 speed at level 50. So my Manaphy will actually be able to outspeed his Gator. Assuming he is adamant. If he's Jolly, that's even better for my Manaphy. I could take any hit, and it just gave me physical defense. It allows me to check his backup, check his Talonflame, though Fabio does that really well as check a Gator, and also if I can burn Snorlax, or if I also can switch into Steelix. But if I can burn Snorlax, I can easily beat it. Even if it's Curse-Lax, Tail Glow at +6 will be doing some damage to him. And speaking of Curse-Lax, Snorlax actually was a little bit of a threat, and I definitely wanted to bring something that could deal with that. I also was lacking a Stealth Rocker, and the Pokemon that Janvad and I were looking at was either Claydol or Cobalion. We decided that Cobalion was definitely better just because, if you look at his team, Taunt, the move Taunt actually shuts down so much stuff that could beat Cobalion. Skarmory is shut down by Taunt. Snorlax is shut down by Taunt. I mean, a couple curses up. Maybe this thing could beat me with Body Slams, which is why Taunt is very nice. Taunt also shuts down Trevenant, who could only burn me. I think Trevenant also learns Earthquake. I might be mistaken. We're actually about to find out, because I don't like saying stuff that doesn't... I don't like saying stuff without proving it. But I think it can also learn Earthquake. Yep, it does. Cool. That's something I'll keep in mind. But Taunt really allows me to beat his Skarmory as well as his Trevenant. Close combat, my spread is just enough, that way I can outspeed his Garchomp. That's the only thing I really needed to outspeed. That's his fastest mom besides Mega Sceptile, and none of my Pokemon outspeed Mega Sceptile anyway, so I'm planning on beating it with bulk, more so than outspeeding it. And I just put the rest in HP just to get a little bit more of a defensive, just some investment. Honestly, it allows me to take, I'll be able to take more hits from Trevenant as well, like a Shadow Claw or something like that. And Taunt Iron Head. I decided on Iron Head. I was going to put Volt Switch here, but there's no real reason to Volt Switch. If I have Iron Head, I can actually taunt and beat Trevenant 1v1. I also can smack Jinx for an Oko, as well as potentially flinch if that's needed. And I didn't see any advantage for going for Volt Switch. I felt like Fabio's good with Volt Switch because it Okos everything it needs to, but Cobalion doesn't. So Iron Head was my choice right there, and I wanted Stealth Rock, and Taunt obviously helps me beat Skarmory. So right now I have 4 Pokemon that beat Skarmory. So even though I'm not bringing a Defogger on this team, I feel pretty safe versus that. Now the the 5th Pokemon on my team is actually my hard body, Reuniclus. Now as you can see, I have Psychic, Calm Mind, and Recover. Now originally, what the hell is this spread? See? Love when Showdown randomly does this to my Pokemon. Good thing I actually already imported a Pokemon and have it. But as you can see, I do have Acid Armor. Now that is something I thought of. I was talking with Janbad. We were originally just going to bring the Calm Mind Focus Blast set, but I looked at Janbad and I was like, I didn't look at Janbad, but I said, look at his ways of beating Reuniclus. He could have a Snorlax, or maybe Gator could get a little bit there, or even SD Talonflame, SD Garchomp. And he also doesn't have a Dark type. So I think Acid Armor, we were talking and I was like, dude, Acid Armor might actually be amazing in this game. Just because if I boost my defense his physical attackers cannot touch me, even a crit. Even if they crit me, unless they are boosted, their crit won't do crap because physically defensive Reuniclus is bulky as hell. This also gives me a backup check to his Garchomp as well as a good switch into his Steelix. Granted, I cannot touch his Steelix for super effective damage, but a Calm Mind at +6 is going to be 2 KOing Skarmory easily, and even 2 KOing Steelix. I felt there was no need in Focus Splash just because Psychic was better than Psyshock also, just in case he brought Curse Snorlax. Acid Armor, Psychic, Reuniclus would beat a Curse Snorlax any day. This Reuniclus, just I feel it's going to do a lot of work this game. The fact that it can sponge any hits from any of his Pokemon and also recover up, and after that, I felt that I didn't really need to bring Claydol just because my team doesn't really care about hazards. 5 out of 6 Pokemon on this team can beat Skarmory if he does choose to bring Spike. So I decided on bringing Weavile as my last Pokemon. Weavile giving me a nice check to his Sceptile as well as to his Garchomp if they do come out of hand, as well as weakening or smacking Trevenant with Knockoff and Snorlax with Knockoff or even Low Kick. The moveset I decided on was Ice Shard, Knockoff, Low Kick. Now my last move was a toss-up between Pursue or Icicle Crash. Upon looking at his team, I realized Icicle Crash only hits Trevenant as well as Garbodor for more. Hitmonchan isn't something I would stay in. And speaking of Trevenant and Garbodor, they are, well, Trevenant gets smashed by Knockoff anyway, but Garbodor is completely shut down by my Reuniclus as well as by my Cobalion. The best thing he could do is like Drain Punch, which wouldn't do crap. So I figured there was really no reason of running Icicle Crash when Knockoff just does the damage versus his team anyway. And I wouldn't be... He's brought Scarf Garchomp in the past, so I wouldn't be going for Icicle Crash versus it anyway. I figured I'd run Adamant Weavile again, but this time I only give it enough speed to outspeed Jinx as well as Pavilion. And that's why I want to Pursue, because Jinx could potentially be a problem. I can Pursuit Trap it, which actually O-codes even if he stays in, especially at an Adamant Nature and Life Orb, and I only need enough speed for that, so the rest was just pumped into HP. Weavile actually does not have bad special defense, as you can see, so if I need to switch in on Sceptile, maybe I can potentially switch in on him and then knock it out with Ice Shard. The Pokemon that I was going to go for Ice moves versus, they can potentially outspeed me anyway, so I figured there was no point in giving speed because I'm going to be hitting them with a priority move anyway, so there really was no point. And that's why I brought Weavile, and I'm feeling pretty confident with the Pokemon we brought. I think that Reuniclus as well as Manaphy can really put in work versus my opponent's team. Specifically, this is Reuniclus. It does fear crits, yes, but the Pokemon he has, some of the Pokemon that he has that can crit me are kind of passive, and Talonflame kills itself, and Talonflame is also straight up walled by Fabio. Even if he runs SD, Natural Gift, Ground, that's not going to do crap. Like I said, Fabio can actually live an Adamant Outrage from Garchomp, as well as a +1 Ice Punch from Feraligator, Life Orb boosted and Sheer Force boosted, so as well as a Dragon Pulse. So I really am happy with this team. I feel that it gives me a lot of a defensive backbone as well as a lot of win conditions, being the Calm Mind Reuniclus as well as the Tail Glow Protect Manaphy. Again, Protect really helps me with giving me that leftovers recovery, because I really wanted to bring the Rain Dance set, but then I wanted Stab, Scald, as well as Energy Ball to deal with the Gator, because Gator is so much of a threat. But that's basically my team right there, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the actual battle, which will be uploaded tomorrow. I haven't played him yet. I'm playing him, I'm playing him soon. Soon after I uploaded this video, a couple days after, but soon after I've recorded this video, not after I uploaded. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you everybody for watching, and feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed, and of course, if you want to support the Bronx Beartics, I do appreciate it. Thank you everybody for the support, and that you guys are liking UCL. It's really cool. The hype is awesome. So thank you everybody once again, and until next time, guys, later.